Should you negotiate with a buyer once you're under contract, after you've done all the negotiation up front, everybody signed, and now the buyer comes back and they want more things? My name is Lia Nascimento. I am the owner of MGN Fine Homes. I am your favorite Metro Atlanta real estate agent, and I am here to help you navigate everything real estate. Should you negotiate with that buyer after the contract has been signed by all parties? That will depend. But in the market we're currently living in 2026, the answer is most likely yes, right? So after you go on the contract, there was a few occasions where the buyer may come back and want to negotiate some more. Those occasions will be first during due diligence, where they will have an inspection most likely, and they have a chance to evaluate everything that is important to them about the property. During due diligence, they may find things that they did not know before when they made the offer originally. For example, they might find that the roof is too old and now they can't get insurance on the house. Or they may find, I don't know, termites. In Georgia, it's just a matter of when you get termites. And if that is the case, they may come back and say, you know what, we need a new roof, or we need a termite treatment and bond, or we need $15,000 off the sales price so I can go put a new roof and pay for a termite bond, right? And you may feel like a personal attack because they may come back and give you a report that has 60 pages of things that are wrong with your house, and you've lived in it for the past 30 years, cared for it, and you go, no, I've lived here for 30 years. The house is great. Well, that is true, but even new construction still have defects that inspectors are required to put on a report. So it's perfectly normal for your house to have things that will need to be done, and the buyer understands that. Now, certain things will change the buyer's risk in the purchase, such as not being able to obtain insurance on the house because the roof is too old, right? So that changes the perspective on the buyer, and you may end up paying for a new roof, even though you're leaving the house, right? You're selling it. It might be your only way to sell the house. If you don't negotiate with this buyer at this time, another buyer will come along, or could come along. They may offer you even less money up front and then have the same issue happen again, find the same thing again, and you will be back to the same place, or in a position that is even worse than the first one to begin with. So that's why I'm telling you, it's worth to have the conversation, to approach it, do the numbers work, could you make it happen, then have that conversation, right? Another occasion where the buyer may want to renegotiate the contract is once they have an appraisal done. An appraisal is an evaluation of the house done by a third party who is not involved with the purchase and sale of the home. In other words, it's not the buyer, it's not the seller, it's not the agent, it's not the bank, it's a third party. And this third party may come in and say, hey, I don't think the house is worth the price that we put into the contract. And that, just to give you an example, I had this happen many years ago, where an appraisal came back $100,000 below asking price. And I had run the comps, and I knew that appraiser was wrong. Sometimes the appraiser will not listen. And if that is the case, and you know that, maybe you're going to work out with the buyer more time so the buyer can go get a different lender, have a new appraisal, just like that client of mine did. And the new appraisal came back $150,000 above what we were paying for the house. Can you see the difference? So that is a huge gap. That is not a normal gap, but sometimes that is something that will happen. So we might negotiate time if there is something as big as that. But sometimes the gap is only maybe $2,000, $3,000, something that it's inconsequential to you. Of course, $2,000 or $3,000 is a lot of money, but thinking about the whole thing, where you want your family to go, what do you want to be doing next? Maybe you're already on the contract to buy another house and you need the proceeds of the sale of this home. Maybe you're moving on to retirement and you need that money to buy your dream home. Whatever that is, it might be worth to agree with the buyer and drop the price. Or maybe if you're paying closing costs, you're going to tell the buyer, sure, I dropped the price, but I'm no longer paying closing costs. And the buyer needs to come up with that if they're able to. So all of that to say that the most important thing you can do when situations like that arise is have an honest and open conversation with your realtor. Your realtor is not trying to just get the house sold. They're not trying to make you lose any money. They're not trying to just get paid. They are truly there, at least most of us are, to help you make the best decision for your family. And they can give you insights such as, I think they will agree to this, or they'll agree to that. The buyer's agent let me know this or that, or I see the comps in the neighborhood and I think we can have a second appraisal, and that second appraisal will probably be better. And things like that will help you get to your goal and have a nice, happy, stress-free, or as much as real estate can be stress-free, transaction and closing, and get you on with your new life. All right. I am Leah Nascimento. I help people buy, sell, invest in real estate here in Metro Atlanta. I specialize in helping immigrant families navigate the American real estate market, but I also love my American families, born and raised here. And yeah, give me a call. I love to help you.